Salty Speedway has been revolutionized over the past week to completely change how we play this track, both in time trials and online. The previous world record for this track, before all the revolutionizing happened, was a 156.426 by Barney on Bowser on the Real Racer, which has the most speed in the game. It has 14 speed on all surfaces, road, terrain, and water. This combo differs by a ton. It only has 8 road speed, and it has 2 water and terrain speed, which means it really does not want to be in the water on this track, which is what a lot of this track is composed of. However, with the way this track was revolutionized, we go from spending 45 seconds in the water in Barney's Ghost, which is just 40% of the entire track, which is crazy, and Optik, with her brand new strats on this track, reduces that 45 seconds of water time and only spends 6 seconds in total on all 3 laps in the water. Many of them coming at the very, very start. So, let's check out the brand new strats that Optik does in her world record. Now let's get into what actually changed in Optik's run compared to what Barney does. So, first of all, we have this charge jump after the top path rail, which Optik goes for all 3 laps in her world record instead of just on lap 1 like Barney. And this saves maybe a frame or 2, so it's not too big of a deal. But the next strat we encounter is the most important of them all. And this is implementing the top path road shortcut. So, I'm sure if you played this track before, you have gone over into this water section where there's just a ton of water in between here and the final shortcut where you can finally end up on the road. Now, what Barney does is goes into this water path, gets a couple of tricks, and ends up driving straight for a long time and goes into this pole shortcut. However, what Optik does is she decides, to heck with all that. Let's go to where there's more road, which is on the top path. So on the top path, the way you get here is initially on lap 1, you can get onto this rail where there's 2 extra coins, and you can get an air trick, right trick into this pole really high, and land just on this tiny sliver of a platform. Trick off this, get an air trick to the right, and shake trick to get the maximum amount of height to land on the wall, and the left trick to get a good line into the road. Then from here, Optik gets an edge trick to get these coins, and a pole trick on laps 2 and 3 on the top path to cut off a little bit of the turn. And of course, since you are going top path, you're going to have a brand new mushroom spot, since on bottom path, you would clip the pole and end up on the rail. This time, you instead shroom on the glider and get an extra trick to the right to save a little bit of extra time. And heading into lap 2, there's 3 more strats to cover, where at the beginning of the lap, you actually go to the left path here instead of going into the water like Barney does, and you charge jump from the left path to the right path to stay on the road entirely. Then you want to get a mini turbo to the right and mini turbo trick off this ramp and end up avoiding the water altogether in this first section. Then, right after this, there's a brand new strat that was just discovered in Optik's 156.029, where she actually goes to the right here and tricks off this little banister, I guess. I don't even know what this is, but she tricks off this to get just enough height to land on the right rail of this little gazebo thing, and then she left tricks to get onto the top part of the rail, right tricks, and repeats the process to get back on to the top path. So I wanted to give you guys a proper comparison so that we can compare what was slower and what was faster, and what Optik ended up getting in the end to just simply be faster than Barney overall. So right off the bat, you can see Barney has quite a bit of a lead on Optik in the first lap. And that's because Barney actually does have a faster lap 1 than Optik does. However, Barney does get 2 fewer coins. But as you can see, Barney approaches and gets onto the end of the rail pretty much half a second before Optik does. But here is where the time save begins. This beginning part saves about 0.2 back over Barney instantly, which is just incredible. That's the biggest time save of all. And this helps out a little bit too. This saves about 0.1 compared to what Barney does. And now, basically, Optik is back to even, almost. You're going to see, after this pole trick and the glider, they're basically in similar sections. We're going to see Optik, I think, be on the end of the rail at the exact same time. Yeah, they got the same trick as each other. And now, Optik is actually, I believe, slightly ahead. And of course, now with 8 coins, and with the better top path, Optik is just going to break away from Barney here and end up with a 0.4 lead in the end, which is just incredible. But yeah, as you can see, these extra coins are really helping out, on top of the fact that you can do a lot more bigger strats that save more time over what lap 1 is supposed to do for the higher handling combo, which is Toad Mach Rocket. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Optik did a little silly at the end there, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. So starting in 2026, I'm going to be beginning a brand new series called the World Record Rotos Recap, where I will be recapping every single world record weekly and going over, just like in this video, what changed and what the time save in between each world record came from. So if you want to see that, be sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss a single episode of the World Record Rotos Recap series. But with that out of the way, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas around the world, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.